NATO has agreed on a package of measures to step up its efforts in the Black Sea and counter Russia in the region, with more surveillance and exercises promised. That's according to the alliance's Secretary General speaking at NATO's 70th anniversary celebrations.
So we are stepping up our efforts in the Black Sea. We just agreed, or the Black Sea region, we just agreed a package with more surveillance exercises and other issues which we strongly believe are relevant for the Black Sea region, and of course also then working with our partners Georgia and Ukraine.
NATO branded Russia a global threat, with Jens Stoltenberg claiming the country has made the world a more dangerous place, and it seems he's not alone with that opinion.
Vladimir Putin harbors dark dreams of imperialism. He wants to split our alliance and weaken our democratic resolve. Still, Russian aggression. Russia's attacks on Western democracies in the context of Russian efforts all around the world.
If Russia did not exist, it would be necessary to invent Russia just to keep NATO going. That's the impression that you get from the summit and the anniversary celebrations that just took place in Washington, D.C. What worries them seems to be Russia's presence anywhere.
Russian efforts all around the world, whether that's efforts in Ukraine, the Russians' continued malign activity in Syria. We talked about it in Venezuela. We talked about what they did in the Sea of Azov.
And they want them out.
In each case, we are doing our best collectively to respond. In the case of Venezuela, the United States has its responses being prepared as well.
And what doesn't worry them is their own presence at Russia's borders. Really, why would Russia be nervous about such moves? NATO is adamant to present itself as purely a defensive bloc, quickly forgetting the havoc it regularly creates around the world. But even with NATO's #1 enemy so clearly pronounced, there's still kind of a lack of unity within the bloc. The loudest retort seems to be coming from Turkey.
NATO's demand for Turkey to abandon a deal that has already been completed shows disrespect for Turkish sovereignty.
That's how NATO's second biggest member seemed to respond to Washington's ultimatum.
Turkey must choose. Does it want to remain a critical partner of the most successful military alliance in the history of the world? Or does it want to risk the security of that partnership by making reckless decisions that undermine our alliance?
And even Mr. Stoltenberg was somewhat disconcerted by this us or them rhetoric.
It is a national decision for each NATO ally to decide on procurement of capabilities.
Actually, from Washington's point of view, it's not just Russia that NATO member countries shouldn't be purchasing from. China is also dangerous.
For the risks associated with the installation of Chinese technology and systems related to security, there is undoubtedly the risk. And every sovereign nation that will make its own decision, and then the United States will make its decision.
So it sounds like friends of the United States are free to trade with the United States alone.
Beyond the U.S. not trading or blocking U.S. corporations from trading with other countries is a very conscious and energetic attempt that's carried out by the U.S., by the State Department and the Treasury Department to prevent other countries from trading with those countries that have been targeted. And we see this in regard to Iran. We see sanctions against Russia, Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, sanctions against China. Many, many countries in the world are sanctioned to one degree or another in order to block certain kinds of trade and normal economic relationships, what are considered today normal economic relationships, in, again, the interest of a strategy of global domination.
Former vice head of the OSCE Assembly, Willy Weimer, believes NATO itself is endangering the world.
When we look on today's world, yes, there are many dangerous situations, but the most dangerous situation is created by NATO after the illegal war against the former Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, and all the wars since then in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Syria, in Libya, in Mali. NATO is everywhere, and it's destroying the world, and it is killing people in hundreds of thousands. And therefore, Stoltenberg, who comes from Norway, a very strange country in Cold War times, should be more quiet when he talks about these things.